Hey guys, Sparky here. I decided to do a commentary for my speed paint, which is something I have never done before. So, Jazza has a competition going on right now where he wants to draw a Pokefusion. So what I did was I mixed Arcanine and magnamite because why not? And I called it Arcanite because obviously. So what's going on right now in the picture is I am trying a new line art style, which isn't something I do often, where I did thicker outlines for the main outline, and then I did small ones for details and stuff on the insides. And then, yeah. So, I'm also doing base color so that it's easier for me to select it and then recolor it when I'm in different programs, because I will switch between this and Manga Studio 5 a few times throughout this video and you'll see it. But, so what I did was I started off with a few designs, which you'll see when I'm coloring the picture. Is right there, you saw them. I started off by designing them. And the whole idea behind the magnets is that they surround the Pokemon at all times, and then it uses them to fight and uses them for its electrical powers. So like in this one, you can see it's like preparing for an attack. It's like charging it. And way later in the video, like the last thing I add, there's a trainer and a Pikachu standing there, and that's what it's battling. So I tried to do color planning for this video before for this picture, not this video. For this picture, but I had trouble with Photoshop. It wasn't picking up my pen sensitivity, and yeah. So right here, I just switched from Manga Studio back into Psy because nothing was working in the other programs. But so I didn't really worry too much about the background because the picture was supposed to be like in a dark alleyway, so I wasn't too worried if you couldn't see the background very well, but I still wanted to make sure it was shaded. And like there was little details in there, though it's not the best, and it's not. I have never really drawn an alleyway before, so it was my first time, and I was pretty okay with how it went. But I'm switching the hues and stuff here so that it looks a little bit more unified. And then, okay, so for shading, I decided to do a hybrid of my two more basic styles, which is either cell shading or soft shading. So what I did was I did a base of cell shading, and I just only did dark shading. I didn't do any highlights or anything with cell. And then I went over it with soft shading, which you'll see in a minute. But I was having trouble with muscle structure and stuff with the thing because you can't really, like, I suppose I could have looked up a reference of like a wolf or something that Arcanine is based off of, but he's too big to be a wolf. And I don't know, I think a Saint Bernard would be more accurate, actually. But so I'm just finishing up the tails and stuff, which was actually a lot harder than I thought it was. And then I recolor corrected it, and now I'm on to soft shading, which what I did was I took my water brush inside, and I put down the basic shape of it, and then I turned it into a transparent brush so it still has the same texture, and I erased it a little bit so that it would soften itself out and turn it into more of a gradient. This is my basic technique for most of my soft shading, and it's what I use for like bodies and stuff, anything that's not hair. I have a special hairbrush, which is what I'm using now. So here what I did was I opened up a new window so that I could see it from far away because I was adding too much detail into the hair that wasn't going to be able to be seen. And I wanted to make sure that all of it looked unified. And then here I'm just finishing up the hair shading for the soft shading. And then I moved on to the light shading, and what I did was I set it to a luminosity layer in Psy, which is a linear burn or linear add in other programs. And all it does is it's really bright, and it looks really good for like artificial light and electrical light and stuff like that. Here now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to ground the picture with other shading that goes beyond the character. So like it's on top of the whole entire character, and I'm just trying to make him match with his background so that he looks like he's actually in the picture instead of just floating on top, which is hard to do if there's no grass. And then I added backlighting, and I made sure that there looked like there was backlight coming, so that way it just looked good. And here I'm adding drool, because drool is nice. And then here I am fixing up the feet and stuff because it didn't match. And here I'm adding the trainer. It's just his hand and a Pokeball, and he is using a Pikachu to fight him, which I don't think would work because he's steel electric, so I don't think that they would be very strong against him, but whatever. I don't know. And then I think this is the end of the speed paint, so I hope you liked it, and subscribe for more, and tell me if you want more commentary. Bye!